So here's the update video that I said I was going to try to do. I've now had the camper for 4 months. I believe we've camped in it probably 4 times, I think, this year. The truck is showing some weak points, which I will get into about later with the update part of the video on this. I will do that in this video also. The last time I did an update video on the truck was probably 2 years ago. Let's get into some of the things I've done to the camper and things that I found out about the camper that I really enjoy. We will start moving this way. Sorry, it's a little bit windy today. It's Halloween. It's funny because the last time I did a video on the camper, it was Halloween. Or not Halloween, it was 4th of July. Okay, so we're going to start right here at the main slide. And one of the things that I have found that I really enjoy is on my phone, if you can see that. This is the same screen that shows up on my display inside the camper, and right now the door is currently locked. But if I go into my devices and go into slides, I can go into my main slide and I can operate my slides from my phone. We'll open all the slides up on this. This has been winterized for the year. That just barely clears the trash can over there. Okay, there's that slide. We'll go around. Go to this side of the camper. Set you down. Try to adjust you a little bit. Let's see, we'll do the bed slide. And anything that's on that monitor panel inside, I can do from my phone. I can shut lights on and off, which was quite fun with the kids on the last camping trip. It kind of freaked them all out when the lights and stuff were shutting off and nobody was inside but them. And now we're doing the kitchen slide. Okay, now that the slides are out, I will take you off of the tripod for a minute. Sorry about that. This is one of the upgrades I just did here recently. I have not got to try it out since I did it, but I did 9-inch round feet and I put RV snap pads on them. I did put these levels on there. They're junk. I hate them. They didn't work very well. I had to put a new holder on because the plastic one broke. This is one of my other upgrades that I really enjoy. There's a filter that goes on there, and that's my water filter. And this side is your inlet coming from the campground water. And then from here, this comes off. That's for the travel when I have it set up like this. But it comes up and connects into here in the city water connection. And I love having this set up. It is really nice. I haven't done anything else to the camper yet. I watched a video on YouTube of another guy that they just went full time, but I guess SnapPad is coming out with pads for these feet, and I'd like to get those eventually. And I've done one more upgrade to the outside. Sorry. And we'll get up here and I will show you. I decided to put an RV lock on it, and I love this thing. Now we'll go inside. Granted, like I said, this is set up to be winterized for the year. There's some toys from my son playing with it. Oh, this door right here, he has just destroyed it. Yep, I'm gonna have to fix that. It looks like he's bent it all up. Oh, I see what happened. There we go. Now it's still not latching properly. What did this kid do? Looks like he may have bent the hinge, I don't know. But we love the heated and massaging recliners. They are wonderful. The last trip we had 3 adults and 5 children in here. 1 adult and child there, 2 kids here, and an adult and child here, and then I got my queen bed all to myself. Even though my son was with us, he did not want to sleep with me. He decided to sleep with his Aunt Lori. I double-sided taped a Blu-ray player right here so we could watch movies. I would like to upgrade to a electric fireplace right there. I don't know if it's possible, but I could do the opening and put one there. The 12 volt residential style fridge, loved it. Loved it, loved it. It had more than enough space in the freezer and plenty of space down here in the fridge. I don't know. I never even got it close to full. Last trip out, we did use the oven. I have not used the stovetop, but the oven worked wonderfully. Microwave got used a ton. Love it. The sink, of course, got used a ton. I ended up buying a basket or a rack to dry dishes. The plate needs to be put up. Probably isn't clean. I probably need to wash that. But yeah. Sure you've seen my sign here. Open ball here. Good food, good drinks, good times. And definitely added some bottle caps to that. Home is where you park it. I did add these. That's fly swatter, of course. You'll need that, most time. These, they got used more as coat holders, but they were for keys for this one. I'm going to get some more and put on this wall for coats. Furnace and air conditioner work wonderful in this. In fact, the furnace is so quiet because it's right down under here that I couldn't even tell the thing was running. I couldn't tell if it was on, off. It almost drove me nuts because the only way I could tell was if I checked a floor vent to see if it was blowing heat. It kind of was different than what I'm used to. First trip out, the P-trap here was a little bit loose and leaked a little. It hasn't leaked since, but I left the towel there just in case. Toilet worked wonderfully. Shower, I think I used it maybe once, and it's got the shower head that you can shut on and off, and I loved it. It's wonderful. It was more than enough hot water for me to shower, especially with shutting it off. I loved it. There was plenty of space. This is where we keep all the beach towels. I usually put a basket in here for dirty clothes. Drawers, of course, used them for miscellaneous stuff and clothes. Right up here, if you can see it, that is the system for the Schwintek slide. Extra blankets and stuff up here. I did use an electric heater just to kind of knock off the chill last trip when we got to the campground. It worked wonderful. I got a bunch of stuff stored up here. PlayStation 2, because I use it for my movies on the TV, which I would like to get something to put right here to mount that. I don't know if I did this in the last video, but there's the electrical for the second AC that would go right here. And at first I wanted to change these vents so they'd close and I could direct the cold air where I wanted. But I realized that if I just turn on the fan, leave the fan on all the time, that it helps circulate the air, and it was really nice in here. It really didn't need a second air conditioning. This is pre-wired for a Wi-Fi setup, which I don't know if I need to do. There's really not much I can do to update in here. Oh, the motion light just kicked on. But I told y'all I'd do an update video on it. I really haven't done much more for upgrade stuff, but we have really enjoyed this camper. I love it. My son, when I traded in the old bunkhouse, he wasn't thrilled. He thought that his brothers couldn't go camping with us if we didn't have the bunkhouse. And we proved him wrong on that one. And since this is winterized, I'll put my steps back up. Well, there it latched. Okay, close that. We'll lock it. Put that. And I'll put the slides back in later. Now that I've actually used the Anderson hitch a few times, actually on the road traveling, I do have the safety chains on it. They're not required in Missouri, but I would definitely recommend them just in case. The Anderson hitch, I like it. It does a good job. The only thing I can say I so far have disliked about it is going down the road, you definitely feel every bump because there's no kind of cushion between the kingpin and the back of the truck. And I really wish that there was. But now that we're kind of done with the update on the camper, we'll do an update here on the truck, and I will back it up some so I can do walk around on it. Let me get the camera back on the tripod here if I can without dropping it. Oh, come on, there it is. It's tilted way up. I will start it up and move it. there's one of the many problems that I have realized with this old truck, with pulling the big heavy camper, is first I had blown out exhaust manifold gaskets, and that was way down on power, and then it ended up burning up plug wires and burning up a plug, and made it to where the porcelain came loose and was blowing spark plug wires off. And it took me a while to figure it out, but I finally got a new plug wire, or new set of plug wires, after burning up a set of Taylor brand. Since the last video, I don't think I had the billet grill in. I painted the front bumper black and around the headlights. I don't believe I had the LED high beams in. I got this chin splitter from a guy on Facebook that lived really close. I got it and a Lund visor for $200. And yes, I pop riveted them on. I'm probably going to catch heat for doing that, but I don't care. It's my truck. I put spiked lug nuts all the way around on it. These mud flaps were cheapies that I got off Amazon. I do not recommend them to anybody due to they flap and they got burned up by the exhaust. I did put tow mirrors. You can find these at eTrailer. They were $80. They were very expensive. A set of 99 Suburban fit on it, but they weren't great. I don't know if I did any interior shots of the truck last time. There's my brake controller, which I love. Ooh, it smells like fuel in there, and I don't know why it smells like fuel inside the cab, but I do have a tach, and it runs about 3,500 RPM at 70 mile an hour. There's my tire monitoring system. There's my Furrion camera that I have on the back of the camper. I have a cell phone holder because I use my cell phone for music or use it for navigation, of course. I don't have a GPS in here. I would like to get an RV GPS just because of the size of the camper. I do have towels on the front seat because of that right there and that right there. They are not in the greatest condition, but this truck is all original. I do need to get new window tint. My son's car seat, I set him in the middle because, for one, it doesn't have 3-point seat belts at the moment, which I want to put in, but for safety's sake I would rather him be in the middle seat. But for a 32-year-old truck, I mean, honestly, she's in really, really good condition. I'll show you up underneath the hood here in a minute. I'm trying to figure out and diagnose why it has a misfire again. This does have EGR on it. This says fuel injection. Early model throttle body injection. You can see right there, it says fuel injection. I'm not a fan of the setup, but it does the job. I have been told numerous things. I've been told maybe the EGR is clogging up. But I mean, like I said, I'm not a master mechanic, so I don't know. I do have an Optima red top battery, which, yes, my terminal is really corroded and I need to clean it. Like I said, this does have the throttle body injection. There's my EGR, which I've got one on the way to replace it. This, I guess, helps control the EGR. It had a smog pump, but the smog pump was taken off before I got the truck. When I bought the truck, it did not have working AC. The AC compressor was locked up, and one of these two lines was missing. I spent well over $1,000 and got that working. My new plug wires, XL plug wires with heat socks. And I did put in new manifold gaskets, and my God, it made a big difference. Here's some more electronics. I've got a new distributor cap and rotor coming. I've been told something about a part that goes on the back of the distributor may be also my problem, or the distributor's going bad, which I really hope not, because I don't want to have to replace the distributor. And you can't see it because of this air intake setup, which I guess was a factory deal on these. But down there on the manifold, there is a crack in this manifold which needs to be replaced. I do have a big 3-core aluminum radiator on this with the factory style 180 degree thermostat. When I'm running down the road without a load, this thing doesn't even see 200 degrees. With the camper on a hot day, I can run between 210 and roughly 230, and 230 is a little extreme for me, but that's when I'm really pushing the truck, trying to get 60-65 mile an hour out of it at like 3,500 RPM. I do not recommend that. The truck prefers about 55 mile an hour, about anywhere between $3,000 and $3,200. This is original paint. That's all surface rust, clear coat peeling, some surface rust, more surface rust down the side here. But if you look, this cab does not have any rust holes in it whatsoever. The only real body damage is this right here, where previous owner, I don't know if it's the guy I bought it from or someone else, obviously backed it into something. Like I said, do not buy these cheap mud flaps. I'm going to have to order a better set. These lights down here, for some weird reason, are getting a bad connection. They don't work now. But once again, there is no rust through this truck. This fender has been replaced at some point. I'm not sure why it was replaced. But the bumper is a different bumper. I don't remember exactly what year bumper this is. Those lights do light up, but they do not work as turn signals. I would like to remove those turn signals and put them down here. The other thing, which people have told me about, is this does have an electric fan right here on this side. But the only thing it blows on is the AC condenser and the radiator. I have 2 coolers here. One is an oil cooler and one is another transmission cooler. And the transmission cooler does run through the radiator and then through that, I believe. Or it runs through that and then the radiator. I'm not 100% sure. The only other spot that you will see any kind of surface rust, which are some starting right there, is the rooftop. The rooftop is really bad, and I need to do something about it before it rusts through. I do have the small toolbox, which I bought this one specifically because it was shorter, and it was shorter in depth for a fifth wheel. That's why I bought it. It is cramped. It's got a air compressor, a little bitty one. I have a starter jump pack in here and most of the tools that I need. I do have a small floor jack. I don't know how well it would work on this truck, but it does work, I guess. I haven't tried it. Haven't need to. There's the plate right there for the safety chains for the Anderson hitch. This does have a B&W turnover ball, or hide ball, whichever one you want to call it. But, I mean, you can see the surface rust back here. I know I have a sticker on there that says Taylor when it's not Taylor anymore. But this is basically the update for the truck. This door is the only one that shuts a little hard. See my seat. The front seat's really bad, but the back seat is surprisingly really good. I I would like to find a factory cover like this for the front to put back on so they match. I actually like the cloth seat. These seats are pretty much like riding on a sofa, and I love it. I love it, I love it. This door is a little hard to shut, but the truck will eventually get paint and body. I do want to put a gear vendor. I know a lot of people said don't go with the gear vendor, go with the 4L80. Either way, when you're towing, you're not supposed to be in overdrive. So I really don't see what the difference is, other than with the 4L80, I think it's a 4-speed. And if I went with a gear vendor, I would have first gear overdrive, second gear overdrive, and third gear overdrive, basically turning a 3-speed into a 6-speed. That's why I want it. And it's a proven system on 2,000 horsepower drag cars. I mean, this truck is never going to see that kind of power. So, in my opinion, that's the reason I want to go with it. Plus, the Turbo 400 in this has been rebuilt for pulling. It does have shift kit in it. So, that's my opinion. I would like to update to a Sniper EFI if I could, eventually. But that might happen, that might not happen in the next year or so. I do want to do 3-inch drop spindles on the front and a 4-inch drop shackle on the rear, because when I put the camper on, it does drop down about an inch, so that would make it almost perfectly level. And it does have brackets here for the, there they are, for a helper spring, but this does not have a helper spring on it. Somebody took it off, but I'm not real worried about it. This thing handles wonderful with that big old camper, which the gross vehicle on this camper is 10,000 pounds. I guarantee I'm nowhere close to 10,000 pounds. Come in here, you can see gross vehicle 10,000 pounds. The axles are 5,200 pounds a piece. So my axles are overkill for what I'm doing, which is nice. I like that. But I can guarantee you I'm nowhere near 10,000 pounds with this thing, even fully loaded. But I will continue to try my best to pull with this truck. This is the truck I want. I'm keeping this truck. I don't really want to update to a different truck. I love this truck. This truck is basically my family tow rig, even though it's just me and my son. But this is my classic truck to replace my 68 Chevy I had. And that's what I'm going for. But I do want to update maybe to a 454 HO big block crate motor. We'll see if that happens. I know a lot of people want the 12 valve Cummins swap. I don't know enough about a diesel to work on a diesel, let alone do a swap on a diesel. So, I mean, I've debated on like a 6.0 swap. I've debated on the 8.2 LS swap. I mean, it, once again, it plays into, you know, a lot of wiring, a lot of fuel injection setup. I'd really rather not go that route. This has a big block in it. I'd like to stick with a big block in it. If I put in a 454 HO crate motor, it's going to drop right in the factory spot. And I can put a Holley Sniper setup on it and, you know, hopefully be happy with it. But for now, I'm going to use what I got, which is the factory original 454 in this truck. So I mean, that it is what it is. I love the old truck. My son loves the old truck. Told me the other day I was going to sell it and get a different truck. He said no, I am not allowed to do that. So But I'm going to pull the truck back up to where I leave it when we're not using it, which is right up against the garage door of the house. Behind the garage door that this is parked at is a 1940 Pontiac Coupe. I will eventually do a video on that. That car has been in my family since I was a child. It is still not fully done restored, but it is a driver and it is a ball. My son loves it. The other garage door here is my daily driver. It's a 2003 Grand Am, nothing special. And then of course my 97 Honda on the other side next to the camper. Maybe I'll do a video on it. It's nothing special. It's got rims. It's got a catback exhaust and a cold air intake. Other than that, it's stock. It's got 280,000 miles, I believe. The dually has 88,000 miles on it. But like I said, here I'll pull the truck forward and that'll be the end of the video. But whatever.